Good afternoon or evening or
Hello,
morning,
everyone.
whenever you're watching this, and welcome to another episode of Marriage Matters. This is a show where my wife and I, Glenn Coleman, we discuss marriage matters because marriage matters. So we just always want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. We are always overwhelmed and just so enamored. Can I use that word, enamored?
Go ahead.
Ooh,
Yeah.
big word. Uh, by your support and all your contributions to this program. So, and because our goal is to enhance and advance marriage and relationships, we always like to recommend something that we ourselves have used or
Are using?
are using to that's worked for us and helped us. We'd like to recommend that to you. So this week we're going to be recommending a podcast.
Yes.
Now, I will admit to you that I am a podcast junkie. I have become a podcast junkie, and maybe I'll share some other podcasts that I like to listen to. But today we're going to share a podcast called The Naked Marriage.
We'll give you guys a picture of them.
Yeah, what I may do is just put it up in post production, so
that'll be great.
Yeah, so that way you can get a better picture. But anyway, we attended the EXO conference. That's what these shirts are from, EXO, the Jimmy and Karen Evans Marriage Today conference, and we were able to. And actually, I had heard about the naked. The name of the podcast is The Naked Marriage with Ashley and Dave and Ashley Willis. And actually, I'd heard about them from listening to another podcast called Fierce Marriage, and they had recommended Naked Marriage, and I didn't listen to it. But then when we went to the XL conference, I got a chance to hear Dave and Ashley speak
live in person,
and I loved it. They were so great. They're just so open, honest, and just great information, great content. So ever since then, Tanya and I both have been listening to the podcast. And again, the podcast is called The Naked Marriage Podcast with Dave and Ashley Willis. So we encourage you. This is something that you guys can listen to together.
Yep.
Or you could share. A lot of times I don't do this. I probably need to do this more. But Tanya she'll text me.
I'll share links.
She'll text me a link. Hey, listen to this episode. And it could be something maybe that we talked about or something that. Maybe she's been dealing with, or maybe it's an area she needs me to improve in. That's a good way of listen to this and then we can talk about it later.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe I'm not saying you need to listen to this. I'm not saying it that way.
Right, it's different.
But anyway, so the Naked Marriage Podcast with Dave and Ashley Willis.
Yeah, great couple.
Totally recommend it. So go ahead and subscribe to that wherever you listen to your podcast. So this week we're talking about boiling point. Boiling point. And I already know what you're thinking, or maybe thinking, but it's not the boiling point that I'm talking about. Is not the frustrated, the anger.
Right.
So I guess I'll just give you some backstory on this. But anyway, I attended training about a month or two ago for my job. Shout out to Charlotte Stallings with Revolutions Consulting. It was a training on meeting, holding better and efficient meetings. So in that training, she started it off and she talked about this. She talked about she wrote on the board 112 degrees, and she's like, "What does that number mean to you?"
112.
112 degrees.
Okay.
So what 112 degrees is the point at which, at normal room temperature, normal altitude, that
Go ahead.
What?
I was making sure it's 112.
I'm sorry, you're right.
I was trying to give you a hint without
212. Sorry, Charlotte, I messed your thing up. Look, let me read my notes. It's 212 degrees. She's like 112 degrees. I'm sorry. 212. 212 degrees is the temperature at which water at normal altitude boils. So she asked us the question. She's like, what's the difference between 211, and 212? And the answer is 1 degree.
Right.
and she was saying that between that 1 degree of difference, a whole lot changes. So that water starts to bubble, steam is generated, it's a lot more energetic, and all that was, it was 1 degree of difference.
Wow.
And so we're sitting in this training for my job, and of course I start thinking about marriage and relationships. So I'm like, man, how many areas of our marriage we're sitting at 211,
Wow.
and we're just coasting along at 211, and it's hot.
Right.
And if you put your hand in there, it's gonna get burned.
Right.
But oh my, how much a degree makes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So today what we want to talk about is the minor changes, the minor adjustments.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we go into marriage, or when we talk about improving our marriage, we think that we have to make these huge, drastic changes. And here's what I've learned is that you want to do things that are sustainable.
Yes.
Before we started taping, we were talking about weight loss.
Oh, Father.
I know. After I was like, can I do the whole show like this?
You're not gonna be able to talk.
But I was like, I know a lot of times I try to make these big drastic changes, and one of the things that I'm learning when it comes to weight loss is you can't do that. You have to do things that are sustainable, that that you're going to be able to continue to do over a long period of time. And I think it's the same thing in our marriage. We wanna improve our marriage, and we try to take these drastic measures and stuff that's not sustainable.
Right. Or we resist making the adjustments because we feel like we have to make these drastic changes. And so we don't want to adjust what we're doing because now I have to change everything. I have to give up everything. What about me? What about my needs? You kind of go into this whole anxious thinking and just shut down from even considering just making a small adjustment, small change, just a small degree.
Like one of the examples I thought about was, everybody saying, "Oh, you need a date night. You need a date night." And even that can be, it could be kind of not intimidating, but it could, because
it depends on your life.
And also, me, I'm a finance guy. Yes. And so when someone says you need a date night every night of the week, first thing I think about is, okay, how can I put this into the budget?
Once a week.
Oh, you're right. I'm getting all the numbers wrong. 112 every night of the week. I know, right? Okay, so at least once a week. But my mind automatically goes to the budget. Okay.
Right.
How can we budget? How can we budget for this?
If I want to go to this particular restaurant, that's like $100 a week.
Right.
$400 a month.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean you have to make these drastic.
Right.
A date night could be just simple. We did a marriage seminar with Unity Ministries. Shout out to Darius and Monique.
They're so sweet.
Charles. And we did the Stretch marriage seminar with them. And one of the things that Monique said, she was like, the other night that what Darius and I did was, we did a date night, and she's like, I cooked some grilled cheese, and we had grilled cheese, a glass of wine, and a movie on our coffee table in the living room.
Yes.
And I think she said that maybe they lit some candles. And I'm like, wow, that's a date night. So in other words, what I'm saying, it's just little things, little changes. Marriage enhancement, marriage improvement, relationship improvement doesn't have to be these huge, big, dramatic things. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that you never go out and do the fancy night out on the town.
Right, dress up
and doing all that.
And all that good stuff. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is to make lasting change in your relationship, it's the little things.
Yep.
Find the little things, the little adjustments that you can do to enhance your marriage.
Yep.
I'll give you another example. So, and this again, I goes back to knowing Tanya's love language. One of her love languages is acts of service, and I kind of put some things together. I know she likes acts of service. I know she hates to pump gas. All these things. So I started, and I did this, and again, this was just for me, little adjustments. So one thing I said, I said every time I'm in Tanya's vehicle, which I was in her vehicle last night, and I didn't do it because I was just tired.
Well, and I had just put gas in.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
When did you get gas?
I got gas before I picked baby up from school yesterday because
Okay.
I needed it. I was gonna try to wait on you, but I was like, yeah, I'm not taking that chance.
Anyway, so one thing that I had started doing was I had started, like, every time I was in her vehicle, I would fill her vehicle up. So that way she never had to. That was my goal, was that she never would have to pump gas again. And I didn't say anything about it.
No.
I didn't tell her anything. It was just a little. I mean, it takes me what? I don't know, 5-10 minutes to fill her truck up. And the thing is that one day we're at the gas station and she turns to me and she says, "I really like it." She said it in a sexy voice too. She said, "I really like it when you pump my gas for me." And I
did not say
"Yeah, you did." He was like, "I really like it when you pump my gas
Maybe
for
a little
me."
bit.
So I was like, "Ooh, doggy." Ooh, I know what that voice means.
Oh my
But my
goodness.
point is, that little adjustment, got her talking all sexy to me. I was like, "Watch out now," and that it didn't really cost me anything because, she gonna get gas anyway.
Right. It's coming from the same account.
Coming from the same account. All it cost me was an extra 5-10 minutes, 2 times a week to make sure that her vehicle is, full and her love tank is full at the same time. Hey, glory.
Yes. And I do appreciate that. Because I don't like to pump gas. I have a thing when it comes to germs. I don't like them. And
You say I don't like them.
I don't like the smell. I feel like, and I'm trying to do better with my mindset with this, that I'm always rushed to do things to get somewhere, getting the kids to school in the morning and myself to work on time, all the back and forth, the normal that we do. And so I do appreciate getting in my vehicle and not having to worry about putting gas in there, and I know that there will be times like yesterday where it's just necessary, but for the time period that you've been doing that, it's just been like, thank you, husband.
You're welcome, wife. So, what are some little things that you see that you can do to enhance your relationship? And like I said, it doesn't take a whole lot. I'll say it this way: a little goes a long ways.
Yeah.
So, and I could just name a few others that I've just.
What have I done? What have I done? A little change that you've noticed that helps to.
Well, you tell me. What are you trained to? What are some things that you have started doing? So from a wife's perspective.
From a wife's perspective.
Yeah, so that you can share with the other wives
right
out here in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram land, that some things you've done to help, the minor adjustments.
Minor adjustments. I know your love languages. One of yours is physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've talked about in the past about initiating more. And so I have worked to do that more often, to initiate intimacy more often with you over a course of time. And so that's an adjustment that I've had to
That's
make.
the one I was gonna share too.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. I was kind of nervous. I was like, okay, well, I don't know if this is what he's going to talk about, but
Yeah, that's fine.
So
And it's just, again, it's just putting, really, when it comes to the small changes, the 1 degree changes, it's really, it's more putting your spouse before yourself.
yeah.
Is really what it boils down to.
So, and who better to get outside of your comfort zone? And I'm saying this, when I do say this, I do mean in a healthy way that's beneficial for the marriage. Getting outside of your comfort zone for your spouse. Who better to do that for besides yourself, but your spouse, the other side of your oneness.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, what areas of your life can you identify, or what areas in your marriage can you identify that you can also say that you guys kind of just coasting, at the 211 mark? Like I said, it's good, but I'm telling you, man, if you could just find, whether that is just your communication, whether it's, your sex life, whether it's just the busyness of life, work around the house. Find those areas in your life that you can look at and say, we're kind of just coasting at 211, and then I want to get to 212. Well, the great news is you only got one degree you only got 1 degree to go. So find out what those are and just be creative. One thing you can do is pray about, Father, what show me the 1 degree areas in my relationship, in my marriage, where I can just make some minor adjustments, and really take things to the next level. Early on in our marriage, what I was never opposed to helping out around the house, and so 1 degree difference, doing laundry for putting a load of laundry on, folding some clothes, or here's another 1 degree. I know she likes the roses and flowers, so I'll pick up some flowers, or just little simple things, little minor adjustments that you can make. Just being more patient, with your spouse. Little things that you can do to go from 211 to 212, and I'm telling you, when you make that jump to 212, hallelujah,
it makes a world of difference.
Makes a world of difference. Stuff starts bubbling up, steam starts coming out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You start cooking. Stuff starts cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the temperature that is supposed to cook.
Yeah. So, so that's our encouragement to you today is, don't be satisfied with just the 211.
Right.
And like I said, I know did I say it right? 211? Yep, yes, 211. Don't be satisfied with just the 211. I know, like I said, it's hot. You think it's where you need to be.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. Yeah. Don't settle for it's good enough marriage.
Yeah.
Don't settle for it's good enough communication. Right. Don't settle for it's good enough sexual or intimacy level. Don't settle for it's good enough quality time.
Right.
Take it to the next level. Make that 1 degree, and that's the thing. We're not saying that you got to go all the way up to 300.
Right. Right. 300 may be too much for you.
Maybe too much. Just take it up to 212 and watch the change that happens in your marriage, in your spouse, in your relationship. All right? Anything else you want to share?
No, just make the minor adjustments. Just give it a try.
Yep.
And see what happens.
Yep. Oh, and you can ask your spouse, hey, what's one thing that I could do to take it up? Like Emerald Lagasse says.
Yeah, take it up a notch.
Take it up a notch. Yes. What's one thing that I can do? And just, do that. So in wrapping up, we always want to remind you guys that you can always reach out to us at info@marriagematterstous.com. That's info@marriagematterstous.com. We love to get your comments, your questions.
Yes.
Your suggestions for show topics. And as always, you stay anonymous. We will not mention your name unless you want us to. But other than that, we're not going to mention your name. I always say marriage matters is like Vegas. What happens here stays here.
Stays here.
Also, we want you to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at MarriageMatters0526. At Marriage Matters 0526. Also, subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yeah, subscribers.
Subscribe to our YouTube page. And also, when you click subscribe, next to subscribe, there's a little bell icon, the notifications icon. If you click on that, then you'll get notified every time we post a new YouTube video. So, you got anything else you want to?
No, I think this was great. I do want to, I guess, encourage couples or someone who maybe you are struggling and you and your spouse are looking for help. That's the other reason why we do this. If that's your situation, there's several avenues available that we make ourselves available to couples. Of course, we teach the Married for Life class through we do it through our local church, but it's a 2=1 ministry, worldwide ministry. We teach that class. It's a group setting. We do that in the fall and the spring. Glenn and I also, through Marriage Matters, do couples coaching through Marriage Matters, and whatever. But if you're just looking for help, looking for assistance, we really want to make ourselves available to you all. That's another reason to reach out with the email or the website is being developed, but through the email for now, or you can inbox us,
yeah,
and leave us your information, and we will get back to you.
Yeah, and also about couples that are getting married, we also do premarital coaching.
Yes.
And I would highly recommend, if you are getting married.
I wouldn't say I do without getting
and if it's not us,
someone.
Please get with somebody. I always say, it's funny. When you get a driver's license, you gotta go to class, take a test. Usually, for your degree, you gotta study.
Oh, baby.
All these areas you have to get certified in, but then they just let you get married.
Right. Just all willing.
Just whatever. All you need is just go and pay you $30 or whatever at the courthouse to get a marriage license. And that's the only license you can get without taking the test.
That's amazing.
Huh?
To do life with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to affect the rest of your life.
Right.
No test. No class. No requirements. Whoever.
Go ahead.
All you got to do is be 21 or 18. What is it? 18. 18. Here you go. Anyway, premarital coaching.
Or counseling with someone.
Yeah. So we do have a 8-week. Is it 8 week?
Yes.
8-week class. That we do with couples going into marriage. So that's all we got for you. We love you guys, and remember, your marriage matters.